Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see and I do apologise for that. Today's video is Instagram chooses my makeup. So if you want to see how I did this makeup look and what products I used, please carry on watching. So I asked my Instagram followers to choose my makeup for this video. They had the choice between two products. Some of them were high-end, some of them were drugstore. I then did a little poll on which one to choose. I did screenshot everything, so when it comes to each product I will show you the screenshots. But to start off with, I went in with primer. So for primer suggestions, I put up Revlon Prime Plus and the Huda Beauty Water Jelly Primer. So it's quite a big margin. This primer one was the Huda Beauty Water Jelly Primer, with 73% of the votes compared to 27% for the Revlon primer. So, I learnt from my last video not to use my Jeffree Star mirror because it takes half of the video up. So it is a very wet, I have used this before, so it's a very wet formula. I remember just putting a little bit, like as you can see, it like literally slips off your finger. It's that wet. So just putting a bit on my T-zone. It is a wet formula. I don't know if it's meant to help give sort of a dewy finish to your foundation. I don't think it is pore filling. And it smells quite nice as well. I find that all the Huda Beauty items have quite a nice scent to them. Some of them are a little bit overpowering than others. For skincare this morning, I did use my Revolution Moisture Boost. If I said that wrong, don't laugh at me. SPF 30 for combination to oily skin. So next up in the votes was foundation. So my Instagram followers had to choose between the Nars Radiant Longwear foundation or the Ordinary Coverage foundation. So quite close between, it was about 20% between these two products. So my followers chose the Nars Radiant Longwear, Natural Radiant Longwear foundation in the shade Fiji. I did buy this one a little bit darker originally because I had been doing a little bit of fake tan. As you can see, it is a little bit darker. So I'm going to go in with my Morphe Beauty Sponge and I'm just going to pat this into my face. To get the coverage I want, I have to do a couple of layers. So I'll come back and do my chin and my neck in a minute. I'm not going to be leaving that bit out. I'm just going to put a little bit more on again. On the bits that I think need a little bit more, like on the forehead. So I have been using this foundation for a few weeks now. I think it's a really lovely foundation. It's beautiful in the way that it is a long wear, so I can put it on as soon as I get up in the morning. And it lasts until I take it off in the evening. Do you know what? I'm going to try a brush, see if... I don't normally use brushes. However, I have some new brushes today, which is quite exciting. It's the new Revolution brush set. I got all of them. So this is a buffering R7 buffing foundation brush. Let's give this a go, see what happens with this. These brushes, for the price, are so beautiful. I'm going to do my neck while I'm at it. I'm not going to be looking like an Oompa Loompa today. It's really not taking on my chin. Don't know if you can see here. It's really not taking on my chin. So for my eyebrows, I chose between, I always use the same pencil, so I didn't offer a different pencil. This is the Revolution MicroBrow pencil in the shade medium brown. I always use this. And then I offered between the Morphe Pomade in the shade Latte or the Benefit Brow-Ins Pro Palette in the shade medium to dark. The vote, it was again quite a close margin. 58% went for the Morphe Pomade and 42% went for the Benefit Brow-Ins. Very, very different products. One's powder and one's pomade. So I'm just going to go in with that pomade. Just use my brush. Just start to put that through my brows. Don't worry about them at the moment, they are a bit of an odd shape, but I will conceal around them in a second. So now I'm gonna, so the vote for concealer was between the L'Oreal Infallible more than a concealer, and the other concealer choice was the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. So this was quite a win of a margin for this one. The Revolution was 80%, whereas the L'Oreal was only 20%. Get a bit of concealer off. And I'm just gonna conceal. They do look a mess at the moment, but just give me a few minutes to work that out. So that took me about 15 minutes to do my eyebrows. They're really not playing ball today. Do you know what? I reckon it's because I haven't used a pomade in so long. I've been using powder or the Benefit Gimme Brow that I've just forgotten how to use it. And truth be told, I don't think I will be using it for as often as I used to. I do like the powder. It's so much easier to blend. This is just a hot mess. I always use the same eyelid primer, so I didn't request any differences. Plus I don't have anything different. So, and this is the Morphe eyelid primer in shade Translucent. And I'm just going to put it in with the Morphe blending sponge. I think actually this might be the last time my sponge is going to be in this video. He's going to be retiring to the bin, unfortunately. I gave him a good clean last night, and a lot of the red, as you can see, came off. So I'm thinking this is it. I was quite shocked with this one actually for my eyeshadow. So I put up Made by Mitchell Head in the Clouds palette, the Urban Decay Born to Run palette, and I really thought the Made by Mitchell would win this. Actually, I was, like I said, I'm very surprised. The Urban Decay Born to Run was the most picked palette with 58%, and the Made by Mitchell was only 42%, which I'm shocked. I am literally shocked, because I thought that would be the one most people would go for. So to start off with, I'm going to dip into shade Breakaway. I'm just going to put that all over my lid just to set that eyelid primer. Let's go with the shade Hell Ride. I'm going to put this into my crease. Can I just say as well, I'm not a makeup artist. Makeup is a hobby for me. So if you think, oh, so that's not very good, it's because I'm not a makeup artist. And I'm going to dip into this shade called Still Shot. It's quite a salmony pink. I think that might go quite nicely with the purple. And I'm going to blend out this purple now together. I am thinking about using this shade Drift. Actually, maybe use that across the eyelid. And actually this shade is going on beautifully without setting spray on this. It's going on so nicely. Stranded, just to put on the inside here. So for concealer, if you remember, the choice was between L'Oreal and Revolution, and the majority went for Revolution. So I'm going to start with one bit under the eye first. This is quite light, so normally I don't mix these two products together, but that's why it is quite considerably lighter than the foundation. Right, and for powder, I chose between a pressed powder and a loose powder. I think it's like a baking powder, but I don't bake, so anybody got time for that. So the powders I chose was the Rimmel Stay Matte in the shade Transparent, and the Jeffree Star Translucent. I think this is the Magic Star loose powder in the shade Translucent. So 36% went for the Rimmel Stay Matte pressed powder and 64% went for the Jeffree Star powder. I do like this powder. It's a beautiful powder. It smells so scrumptious. Obviously you can't eat it, it's a powder. So I'm just gonna... Woo! It's like it's snowing up in here. If you've got any good concealer ideas, please put it in the link below. That would be really, really good. And I'm just going to do my forehead while I'm here. It's gone in my eyebrows. So the Nana I Am forgot to ask about an eyeliner, and because it is an Instagram ask video, I am not going to do one. I'm not going to put any eyeliner on. Barja, if that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I've mispronounced it. I'm just going to put this in my waterline. I'm going to take a smaller brush and I'm going to go back into the Still Shot shade. I love that pinky salmon shade. That's a beautiful shade. And I'm just going to blend out under my waterline. That bit done. I've done the under eye. It does look a bit funny on this side. A lot of it went in my eye and it was burning. Don't put it in your eye. It hurts. So we are now on to bronzer. I did offer 2 drugstore choices per se. One of them was the Friends and the Friends Revolution coffee cup set, well, palette, and Physicians Formula butter bronzer, which I bought recently, but I am quite loving it. 42% went for Physicians Formula and 58% went for the Revolution coffee cup palette. Take the shade Chai, which I normally go for in this palette. It's quite a pretty shade. And I'm just going to start putting this above my hairline. nose smudger brush just to contour my nose. So let's go to blush now, because blush, I chose a liquid blush and a palette brush. My palette blush I used was Lunar Beauty Moon Prism palette, or the Made by Mitchell liquid blush. So this one was quite neck and neck at the start, and I really thought it was going to be hard to choose which, but in the end Made by Mitchell picked Lunar Beauty to the post with 58% of the vote, and Moon Prism blush got 42. So this one I'm going to need my sponge for, and I'll tell you now, this is a beautiful blush. I got the shade Cherry Cola, and when I say blush I mean blush, because that's what it is. And just for this product, I used this in my last video when I showed you my Christmas makeup that I did. You need the smallest amount. Don't put too much on. You don't need too much with this. So I'm just gonna use my sponge. Highlighter. So now we've done the bronze and blush, we're almost done. So for highlighter, I chose a pressed highlighter and a powder highlighter. So powder highlight, I chose the Kylie Jenner highlighter, and for pressed highlighter it was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit, the Sugar Glow Kit. This again was a very close one. I really thought Kylie was going to win, but Kylie got 46% of the votes and the Glow Kit got 54. What's really cool about this palette is like, you could, if you were travelling, you could take out the shade, put in a little separate pot or whatever. This is the shade Marshmallow, and I think Marshmallow will be the one we go for today. It's quite a pretty shade. So I'm just going to put this. Oh, yes. Good choice. Good choices. You know what, I must say, I was quite happy that people chose this palette, because I was a bit concerned about using my Kylie Jenner one, because it hasn't got a stopper over the top. I know a lot of the highlighter powder was on the top, and that would have gone everywhere. Not far off from finishing now. Mascara. I should have done mascara a bit earlier than this, because I didn't think of setting spray. So for mascara, this one actually won by a landslide. So I suggested the Revolution 5D Lash, or the Nars Climax mascara. So this got 73% of the votes, and the Revolution 5D Lash got 27. And I thought actually the Lift and Define 5D mascara would have got more because it's newer, but it's what the people wanted. I've never used this mascara, and it's a mini because it's quite expensive to buy the big ones. So let's just go for this. So I was able to do both eyes with one dip, but I'm going to go in again just to see if I can get those lashes any bigger. Must say, that is a beautiful mascara. Chosen quite well. So one of the last items, again, this was very similar to the mascara. I was really surprised by this. Was liquid lips. I love using liquid lips. Should use a lip liner with it, but what can you do? Couldn't find any at the time. So the choices were between high-end and drugstore for this one. So for the drugstore, competing was the Maybelline Super Matte Ink in the shade Poet. And then for for high end was the Too Faced Melted Matte in the shade Sugar Cookie, and Sugar Cookie won with 73% of the votes, and Maybelline only got 27. I haven't used Too Faced until the start of this year. I just bought the pumpkin spice palette, and then these were discounted as well, the little set of 4 melted mattes, and I must say I'm so glad I did. I love the smell. You know, some people might think the smells are overpowering, but they just, I thought I'd put that on my face then. They just are really lovely. So I'm just going to put this on. Nice. Goes on smoothly and beautifully. Setting spray. I was quite surprised by this one. So the first product was the Nip and Fab oil control setting spray, which I used in my full face of Nip and Fab video last year, and I put up against it the Benefit Professional Super Setter, which is new, come out literally a couple of weeks ago, but that only got 40% of the votes, and the Nip and Fab oil control got 60%. So if you remember when I did this last year, used this product, the nozzle is broken, so just beware. So I'm just going to spray now. So that is the finished look. Let me just get you a little bit closer so you can see. So the mascara was beautiful. I enjoyed using that mascara. So this is the end of this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button. Any likes would be taken on very greatly. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment if you want to do that. And remember to ring that bell so you get notified when I upload the next video. I will try and upload as often as I can. With work in and out back at uni this weekend, it's going to be a bit difficult, but I will give it a go. So take care out in that world, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!